In the heart of Port Charles, emotions are once again simmering beneath the surface, and the events of Friday, May 2, 2025, promise to push long-held secrets to the brink of eruption. What begins as a day filled with routine encounters will quickly unravel into a series of revelations, confrontations, and moral dilemmas that test the limits of trust, forgiveness, and personal loyalty. At the center of the storm are Dante and Lulu, whose fractured love story is poised to take yet another sharp turn. But as their history reopens old wounds, the actions of others, Maxie, Nina, Lois, and Mac, threaten to send shockwaves through the entire town. Since awakening from her coma, Lulu has been adrift in a sea of disorientation and guilt. Her return was expected to bring joy and closure, but instead, it has unearthed a silent storm. With every passing day, Lulu finds herself more entangled in the past, especially as she watches Dante, the man she once loved with every fiber of her being, struggle with unresolved remnants of their shared life. While they've managed to navigate the emotional minefield of Dante's relationship with Brooke Lynn, one truth still clings to Lulu's conscience like a shadow she cannot escape. She knows about a child, now an adult, who was given up for adoption long ago, a child tied to Brooke Lynn's youth and Dante's unknowable legacy. The decision to keep this secret eats away at Lulu. She questions her motives. Is she protecting Dante? Is she shielding Brooke Lynn from a scandal? Or is she simply afraid of what the truth might cost her now that she's finally getting fragments of her old life back? Each of these possibilities weighs heavily on her, and as the episode builds, Lulu finds herself face to face with Dante again. Except this time, the conversation feels heavier, the air thicker, and her silence more dangerous than ever. Dante, whose instincts have never dulled, begins to suspect that Lulu is hiding something of significance. But what he cannot yet comprehend is just how deep and life-altering the truth she's withholding could be. Elsewhere in town, Maxie Jones faces a crossroads that could define the next chapter of her career and possibly her entire future. Deception, the company she's poured her soul into, is at a critical juncture. Following the fallout from their recent corporate upheaval and a precarious deal involving rare minerals, Maxie finds herself staring down an ultimatum. It arrives not with fanfare but with a subtle, menacing pressure that tightens around her with each passing hour. Whether it's from Sidwell, Natalia, or another power player lurking in the shadows, the demand is clear: compromise or collapse. Maxie, who has spent years clawing her way back to personal and professional stability, knows all too well what's at stake. The offer could mean expansion, greater influence, and a more sustainable future for Deception. But it could also come at the cost of her values, her independence, and perhaps even the delicate balance of her family life. As she grapples with the decision, Maxie is haunted by the echo of past mistakes and the looming threat of making yet another one. Simultaneously, another figure struggles beneath the weight of buried secrets: Lois Cerullo. A woman known for her quick wit and silver tongue, Lois has always danced the line between honesty and omission. But now, her web of half-truths is starting to constrict. With Dante and Olivia beginning to grow suspicious and Brooke Lynn drawing closer to truths that Lois has long kept hidden, she finds herself cornered, literally and figuratively. Someone is beginning to press her for answers, and the charm that has always been her greatest weapon may not be enough to get her out this time. The question is no longer whether her secrets will be exposed, but rather how many bridges will burn when they are. Back at the Metro Court, a different kind of confrontation brews between two women who share a complicated history, Nina and Carly. What begins as a seemingly civil exchange quickly veers into dangerous territory as Nina finds herself recounting a series of morally questionable choices made during Carly's absence. From hiring escorts to procuring ketamine and letting Drew become a viral martyr, Nina's confessions carry the weight of manipulation and self-preservation. Carly, always sharp and rarely forgiving, listens with a mixture of disbelief and seething anger. While she may not yet know how to respond, one thing is clear: this conversation is a turning point. It may redefine the fragile truce between them or destroy it entirely. Meanwhile, Max Scorpio, a pillar of justice and instinct, receives intelligence that could shatter several lives. A new crime has come to light, one that may tie together threads of two seemingly disconnected plots: the drugging of Drew and the attempted murder of Christina. While details remain murky, Max's suspicions are becoming harder to ignore. The patterns, the motives, and the familiar faces surrounding the incidents suggest that these acts are not isolated. They are pieces of a puzzle with implications far beyond what anyone in Port Charles is currently prepared to face. Mac, determined as ever, begins his quiet investigation, knowing that exposing the truth will come at a cost. He's been here before, unraveling conspiracies, confronting betrayal, and bearing the fallout of justice. But even he senses that this time, the stakes are different. There's more at risk than prison sentences and public humiliation. The emotional and political repercussions could tear families apart, dismantle reputations, and alter the community forever. As the day draws to a close, Port Charles stands at the edge of upheaval. Conversations that begin with hesitation will end in revelation. Choices made in the name of protection will be questioned under the harsh light of consequence. And those who have spent years hiding behind masks of civility and calculated silence will find themselves vulnerable to the one force no one can escape: truth. What lies ahead for Dante and Lulu depends on whether Lulu can summon the courage to destroy the illusion of peace they've both clung to. Maxie's future may be decided not by her ambition but by her integrity. Lois may discover that words cannot always save her. Nina and Carly's confrontation could reignite old wars. And Mac's pursuit of justice may lead him to truths no one is ready to confront. In Port Charles, every secret kept is a fuse waiting to ignite. And Friday's episode may very well be the match that lights them all. Would you like to continue this story into the following Monday's episode?